United States Navy, bring forth a fallen sailor.
Detail, attention, forward, march.
At this time, we'll prepare for military honors. Military honors consist of a plan of taps and the folding of the flag. For those that can, please stand. All non-military, you'll place your right hand over your heart. All military, former military, you will render the proper hand salute. At this time, the United States military honors. Please be seated for the folding of the flag.
on behalf of the President of the United States, the United States Navy, and the graceful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
I'd like to thank the United States Navy for an outstanding farewell for a fallen sailor. Also, we had a live bugler. He's from Bugles Across America, because it's very rare that the military have live buglers today because of the war. So Bugles Across America, they volunteered to play live taps for us. So I'm thankful to him as well. At this time, we have a few speakers to come up.
You go first. Good morning. Memories. We all have memories of Seymour. My earliest memory of Dad was him teaching me to swim. I was about 5 years old, and of course, being a headstrong 5-year-old, I didn't understand why I had to do it his way. I just wanted to swim. After much bantering back and forth, I finally gave in. Later on, I was glad he took me through the process step by step. I have been actively involved in motorsports ever since. I was also active in scouting for 10 years, and so was Dad. He encouraged me to stay in and accompanied me on some of the overnight hikes. A lot of the tasks and skills I learned, including the Boy Scout oath and the 12 points of the Scout Law, I applied in the non-scouting world. I feel this made me a better person, and I'm glad I took his advice and stayed active all those years. At Boy Scout summer camp, I signed up for the Marksmanship Merit Badge. Dad encouraged me to learn how to safely handle a firearm and to shoot. I eventually took the hunter safety course and obtained my hunting license. For the next 5 years, we would spend some time in the Catskills deer hunting. In the off-season, we would occasionally go target shooting, and I still enjoy target shooting to this day. Besides hunting, another memory I have is our annual spring fishing excursion to a cove in Manhasset, Long Island. Sounds exotic, but in reality, it was typical Seymour. He would rent an open boat and put his really ancient outboard on it, head to the fishing grounds. I always wish it would start, but it didn't. Arriving at the secluded cove at low tide, we would dig our own bloodworms in the mud flats. And as the tide came in, we would drift over the mud flats, catching flounder. Alan and I weren't allowed to talk because he said the fish could hear us and get spooked. Go figure. Anyway, on the way back to the dock, he would give me the tiller to the outboard and tell me to take us in while he cleaned the fish. I was thrilled to drive the boat, and I still enjoy fishing and boating to this day. I was about 15 years old when we went on a cross-country trip to California and back. Dad had some business to conduct along the way and took vacation time in between business stops. We spent some time in Las Vegas, and Dad wanted to teach me and Alan that gambling does not pay off. Taking us to a diner for dinner, there was a slot machine in the foyer. He put a nickel or dime in the machine and pulled the handle. He wanted to show us that you can't win. After the machine wheel stopped spinning, he won. He spit out a couple dollars. Got a good laugh out of that one. He also taught me to play poker, and to this day I enjoy a good poker game. Unbeknownst to Dad, it also helped me attain some spending money when I went away to college. Dad also did a lot of odd jobs around the house, and of course I was his gopher. I picked up a lot of skills watching and helping him with some of the construction and repair tasks that we had to take care of. I was able to apply those skills for years to come. Thinking back, Dad taught me a lot of skills and lifestyles, from motor repair jobs to construction tasks, general maintenance, basic electronics, morals, ethical living, and most important, abstract thinking. In conclusion, I just want to say that besides leaving here saying goodbye to Seymour, let us also leave here today with our own good memories to Seymour.
I think one of the words that summarizes my dad is tenacity. Problems didn't upset or bother him. There was challenges to be met, and he was always thrilled to meet those challenges. He'd figure out how to fix something and stick with it until it was fixed. Or when he learned how to repair clocks, it was a very tenacious thing to work with those delicate mechanisms. And not only that, to refinish the surfaces of the clocks, meticulous sanding and getting everything perfect. And if he couldn't figure out how to solve a problem or fix it, he would adapt something to make it work. If it wasn't the original mechanism. And that I always found very inspiring, that tenacity he had. Stick with it until it got done. I get frustrated easily, and I think of him with his tenacity, and it gives me the strength to continue on. Yet tenacity, as his health was failing, to still keep going, and figure out how to keep on living on at home alone for all those months. As his health failed, he kept trying. It was very difficult at the end when his bodily functions just ceased. I think one of the things we enjoyed, my dad and I, was we had that little sailboat. Because that was my passion. I always wanted to go sailing. I don't know why. When I was in kindergarten, I remember being infatuated with boats. Saved all my money from mowing lawns and shoveling snow. He matched my funds one day, and my mother's cousin had a place right on the water, on a canal, where we had a place to keep the boat. We got that little sailboat. A couple years later, we learned by doing it. We learned together. I mean, he knew boats, but he didn't know sailing. And we started racing every weekend, racing that sailboat. Come home and my mother would be there. How'd you do? How'd you do? She's always excited. We started winning. I mean, it was kind of bush league, but it's one of our fondest memories was sailing that little boat together. And as you all know, throughout the week I sail by here. So I'm on the big ships now. It all started with my dad's racing that little boat. I'm very grateful to have that memory with him. I'm also very grateful to have my wonderful family and friends here today. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. My dad was very, very proud of not only his participation in the Navy, but for the work he did with Grumman, helping the Navy for 30 years afterwards. So being here today is very special.